Hi, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we do not have a base manager available, so we only have the main base manager over here. Sorry about the background noise. Let's finish the sixth parak of Eiruvin and start the first Mishnah of the seventh parak. Parak Vav Mishnah Yud Mesechus Eiruvin. Shachach echad min hachitzona v'lo erev. One person, again we're talking about people who live where there's two chatzeros. One is an inner courtyard, and then there's the outer courtyard. And people live in the residential buildings. The inner courtyard is owned by certain people in the houses in these adjoining courtyards, and certain houses own the outer courtyard. So shachach echad min hachitzona v'lo erev. So we mentioned in the previous Mishnah, they're making separate Eiruvin. The people that own the inner courtyard are making the inner courtyard. The people in the outer courtyard are making the outer courtyard. Let's say one of the people, one of the people from the outer courtyard didn't make an Eruv. Haprimis muteris, the people that join together for the primis can go there, because they can get there, right? Vachitzona asura. Chitzona can't go, right? Because they didn't make an Eruv. Because they can't get to their, right? They didn't. They can go. They can't go into the primis because, right? They weren't ma'ariv with the people there, and they can't go to the chitzona because one of the people left out making the eruv. Minat primis v'lo eruv. However, one of the people in the inner courtyard didn't make an eruv. Shtein asuros. Then they both, even if the outer courtyard did, they can't get there. They can't get there because, right? The eruv is ineffective for the primis. The inner courtyard is not effective. So they can't get to their eruv. So they can't even go to the penimis. Let's say the people join together, right? Some of the houses really their inner courtyard belongs to them, and some of the houses the outer courtyard belong to them. Let's say they join together. Shachach echad, and makom echad means they put it in the chitzona. They put their eruv. They're supposed to put it in the courtyard. They put it in the courtyard, in the outer courtyard. Shachach echad bein min penimis, bein min chitzona v'lo erev shtei asuros. Since they join together and they put their eruv together, they join in one loaf of bread or whatever, a big nice cake or something like that. Maybe cake could also be considered bread or some fancy loaves of bread. They join together. Shtei and asuras, they're both asur because right. If any one person, one house in these houses that have these yards, forget, because you can't get there. The problem is, right, if you're part of the penimis and one of them forgot, right, so then the penimis is not muteris, so there's no way to get into the penimis. If the chitzona, right, then you can't go to the chitzona. So in both cases, neither of them can get to the eruv, so you can't use it. However, if each courtyard only belonged, it wasn't that two houses owned the inner courtyard and two houses owned the outer courtyard. There was only one person who owned the inner courtyard, one person owned the outer courtyard. So then there's no concept of Eruv Chatzar. Eruv Chatzar is only when two houses share one Chatzar. If each one has their own Chatzar, there's no concept of Eruv Chatzar. There's no Gzera D'Rabbanan. No one has to make an Eruv at all. Let's jump to the seventh parak, Eiruvin. Mishnah Aleph. Cholon shebein shtei Chatzar. Here we're going to talk about adjoining Chatzar. Let's say you have 5 houses in one Chatzar, and then you have another 5 houses in the next, adjacent Chatzar, right? But the question is, can you join the two chatzeros and make them one chatzer or not? So you have a cholon shebein shtei chatzeros. There's a wall dividing the 2 yards, but there's a window in the wall. So arba al arba b'soch hasara ma'arvin shnayim yiratzu ma'arvin echad. If the window is 4 tefachim high by 4 tefachim wide, which is it's easy to get through, and it's not. It starts right. The opening of the window starts within 10 tefachim from the ground. Within 10 tefachim from the ground, 10 tefachim is like 3 feet. So it's easy to get into the window. You don't have to climb up on anything. So in that case, they have the option, right? Because technically, a window does not make it it's not a pirza. It's not considered to be one room, one chatzar. It's not really considered one chatzar. However, because it's easily accessible to get to the other chatzar, so they can have an option. Either they can make one eruv, all 10 houses, and make it one chatzar, and put it in one place, or they can make their separate eruv, because at the end of the day, it's shtei chatzeros. However, the window is less than 4 by 4, or even if it's 4 by 4, but the window starts 10 tefachim from the ground, in which case you have to bring a bench or a chair to get into the window. Ma'arvin shnayim ma'arvin echad. So you have to treat it as two different chatzeros, and you can no longer join it and make it one chatzer. The benefit of making it one chatzer, right, is that if one person forgets, I mean, not if one person forgets, he ruins it for everybody. But the benefit of making it one chatzer is that you would need less bread. Let's say, right? Everyone contribute less. At least you only need one loaf of bread for all 10 houses, as opposed to need 2 loaves of bread. We'll discuss exactly the share, how much bread you need, but technically you have 10 people joining to the bread as opposed to 5 people joining to the bread. So you could do it. I mean, obviously it's more risky to do it with 10 people together and make it one chutzner. If one person forgets, he ruins it for everybody. As opposed to if it's 5 and 5, so then if one person forgets, he only ruins it for his 5, not for the other 5. So that's the risk in both cases. But I'll discuss in Eiruvin Mitzion why it is that this concept that if you want, you can make it 2. If you want, you make it 1. What exactly is going on over here? Is it one chutzner? Is it not one chutzner? What does it matter? Right? How does this halacha could be bend, malleable over here, that they can make it 2 or 1? I'll discuss why that should be so, and basically understand the exact foundation of what Eiruvin Chaseros is trying to accomplish. Eiruvin Mitzion coming up next.